You may have seen these headlines recently saying that half of young renters in Canada are spending 50% or more of their income on rent. This comes from the latest renter preference survey from Rentals.ca, but there's a lot more information than just the headline. Let's take a look at some of the details. While the youngest renters, aged 18 to 24, reported spending an average of 49% of their income on rent, this fraction decreased as renters got older, with people aged 25 to 34 spending 40% and people aged 35 to 54 spending only 29%. However, renters aged 55 and over reported spending an average of 35% of their income on rent, likely reflecting a transition from the higher-paying senior years of a career to retirement and a more fixed income. Although we have seen asking rents falling in Canada over the past year or so, unfortunately, we've also seen youth unemployment rising over the same time period, so in terms of overall affordability, young renters are still being squeezed. Now, despite the fact that every single age group ranked price as their most important factor when looking for a new home, one particularly interesting stat from this survey was that renters still placed a high value on privacy, with 2/3 of respondents saying that they didn't want a roommate even if it meant lowering their monthly cost. The youngest group was most likely to consider a roommate, with 53% of respondents saying yes or maybe, but every other age group had more than 70% of people saying no to living with a roommate. This also lines up with what we've seen in the data from our monthly rent reports. Although rents have been falling over the past year or so, studio and 3-bedroom apartments have seen the strongest demand as they're the most affordable options depending on whether or not you want to live with roommates. A studio is more affordable than a 1-bedroom for a single renter, and for roommates, it's generally less expensive to split a 3-bedroom 3-ways than a 2-bedroom 2-ways. In terms of what renters are looking for in a unit and were willing to pay a premium for, the most popular amenity was in-suite laundry, followed by air conditioning and parking. This lines up with other responses we've gotten in the past, which tend to include things like proximity to groceries and transit. In general, what we see is that if people are going to spend more, they tend to prioritize convenience and comfort over other more specialized building amenities. In other words, people are mainly looking for more freedom in how they choose to spend their time, whether they're staying in or going out. If you want more details, you can check out the full survey and our monthly rent report on our blog at Rentals.ca. And if you're looking for your next home, you'll also find tens of thousands of rental listings across the country and search tools that'll help you find the right place for your needs. It's a very good website.